You got 11 players starting this season. They're not starting, but I mean they're going to be on the roster this season that have not seen the floor in a Pacific uniform. So 11 guys that now you need to get assimilated into what's going on. The different thing about them is that maybe they're better skill-wise than players you'd brought in before. And I've seen practices, and they just look a little bit different. But that being said, how do you assimilate these 11 new players into the culture that you guys have going on here?
Consistency. Consistency. Guys need to know that as opposed to a culture, it's a standard. We're going to play hard here. We're going to compete here. We're going to do it at a max level every day. You're going to be held accountable for that. And we're going to teach, and we expect you to be receptive to coaching. And really, coach is not a big, 100-rule guy. Really, he's asking just a few things. You play as hard as you can possibly play. You rebound the ball on both ends of the floor, and you don't give the ball to the opponent unless it's going through the basket when we shoot it. Mm-hmm. That's really all he asks. He doesn't say every time we cross the floor you got to make 8 passes before we take the shot. You got to run 6 plays with a counter before we take a shot. That's not the way he coaches, and there's so much freedom in that. If you're a recruit, if you're a potential player, if you're a current player, that's the kind of system you want to be a part of. If you want to showcase your skill set, being under duress with the other rules makes it a lot more difficult. So that being said, it's not rocket science, and if you do those things, there's a high probability at the end of the game you've got a chance to have at least one more point than your opponent.
I'm excited to see Justin Moore, point guard coming out of the ACC, transferred from Georgia Tech. I know you're coach with, close with Coach Passner with Georgia Tech. You coach with him. Give us a point guard's take on Justin and what we can expect from him.
Justin is he's a high IQ player. He's a guy that knows how to play. He's a guy that started, I believe, 17, 18 games in the ACC. He's played against top picks, first rounders, played with a first rounder. He knows what that looks like, you know what I mean? And that's invaluable for us. Justin, in practice, offensively, from the point guard position, he's probably, and he hasn't played a game yet, obviously, but he's probably been the best we've had offensively from that standpoint. A lot will be expected of him. I'm going to be demanding on him, but he's capable. He's capable. He came here. He visited here out of high school, so we got familiarity with him. And I think that was the biggest reason why when he decided to transfer from Georgia Tech, that he came here.
I agree with Coach. The only thing I would add is we're gonna put some fire under his britches defensively.
I just didn't want to say that.
Yeah,
I let him say that.
We're gonna light a fire.
That's why you got LP.
Defensively, because right now, as of today, defensively, it's like playing 5-on-4.
Mm-hmm.
Like at times he's got, and Coach mentioned it before. His IQ is so high, it allows him to be in the right place at the right time all the time defensively. He's never out of place. But that being said, he's not going at the speed we need him to. Yeah. And we're going to hold him accountable for that. If he does that, if he makes that transition, he's really, really got a chance. Really got a chance to be not only exciting, but he can impact winning. He's really, really bright offensively. I talk to him all the time. Really, on a daily basis, I learn at least one thing from him per day.
From him?
Smart.
One thing.
Smart.
I'll ask him, Justin, what are you thinking right here? Well, Coach, on the ball screen, if I snake him, and then I send them on a straight line to the rim. We're on a fast break, and that opens up the rest of the floor for me. So I'm watching the defense.
Yeah.
I'm seeing, who's doing what they're supposed to do and who's not. He's really.
So he's got that type of vision.
Yes, he does. He does. Really, really good.
Yeah.
So fun to be around. Super kid. We're gonna keep putting our thumbprint on him, in a couple of different ways and make sure he makes the progress he needs to make. But his whole deal right now is defensively and the speed of the game.
Yeah.
Defensively, and if he gets that, we got something.
It's demanding, and the demands of it, when you haven't been asked to do something before, you fight it. You fight it a little bit, but he's not fighting it unwillingly. He's fighting it because he's never been asked to do that. You know what I mean? But he'll be fine.
If you're going to be a great point guard, what comes first? Is it the IQ or is it the skill?
I take the leadership. When I was at Arizona, I fielded a lot of calls because we had 3 first-rounders on the team, and everybody would say, "Who's the most impressive?" I say T.J. McConnell, and they would say, and they look, they wouldn't. Man, he's not the. I said, he wins 99% of everything in practice. He wins 1-on-1, he wins 2-on-2. He wins the 3-on-3, his teams win the 4-on-4, and he always wins the 5-on-5. I said, I'm just saying, that's what happens. Mm-hmm. Was he the most talented on the team? Obviously not. But he helped us win. He was an extension of the coach on the floor. And when you're an extension of your coach on the floor, what happens is if the coach will say something, then he just already look at him and be like, and I've seen him do that, and that's what I'm looking for with. Well, not only Justin, but Pierre, because I think he's pretty dang good too. So, but leadership is one of the biggest qualities you can have at that position. You got the ball in your hand all the time. You got to be able to command. You got to have some command, because if you don't, guys will run over you.
Amari, is he thirsty to play or what? I mean, it had to be tough for him last year to injure himself his first workout on campus. He would have been eligible last year, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he got to sing the national anthem, which was nice before a game last year. That was
it helped his vocal career, but didn't do much for the Tigers on that particular.
That was a tough night.
Yeah.
But Coach, you wanted him to get down to in the 270s weight-wise, right? Before he even hit the floor.
Well, I just think that I did. I told our strength coach I asked him what's a weight that's attainable, but something that we can get in, because you gotta keep his weight down.
He looks great.
And yes, he does. Joey said 270. To his credit, he got down to 270. I played with a guy, and I have so many basketball stories. I do.
You do?
And I have to, sometimes when I'm talking to our guys, I'm so passionate about, how I do this. I try to give them real life scenarios. And I played with a guy by the name of Oliver Miller. And Oliver Miller was probably one of and he's from Coach's hometown, Dallas, Texas. He's probably one of the most talented big men I ever played with. But he ate himself out of the NBA. He literally ate himself out of the NBA. He has so many bad habits. And the one thing I told Amari is, I said, I don't ever want you to think I'm picking on you, because I'm not. I said, but man, you gotta control your habits. Mm-hmm. Like the body type that you have, like is different than everybody else. So you gotta be cognizant of everything that you're putting in your body, And to his credit, he's done a great job. And now he's telling us he wants to get to 260 and 255. That's what he tells us now, But he looks good, and now he likes wearing those little shirts and those little shorts. And right now we're just trying to get him up to speed. The crazy thing about it is with Amari, I'm more concerned about his health from this standpoint, see, because I had a knee injury, and like I told him, people don't understand this. Okay, you tear your ACL, it's a year to rehab, and then people think you're supposed to play, but it's actually a year to rehab. Now you got to get in basketball shape. Now you got to get back in shape. Now this is the part where it hurts. It hurts now. It hurts. It really hurts. You want to know why? Because unless you had a knee injury, you're going to get a headache on your knee so bad, like a migraine headache, when you start running. And when you get tired, like you start dragging your leg and like things of that people can't really fathom. And, you know, with Amar, it's like every day, and the whole coaching staff is on him about the same thing. Did you go in for treatment? I felt good today. It doesn't matter if you felt good today. You still got to go to treatment. You know what I mean? Because this is a part of your maintenance moving forward as long as you play basketball. Like, this is what you got to do. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's an everyday thing, but it's not a tedious thing with him because he's an engaging kid. He has a great personality, and he's gotten through the hard part. Now we got to get him to fight through this next phase, and that's getting into basketball shape.